ATM. While attending an office Christmas party, David Hargrove offers to drive his coworker, Emily Brandt, home. Reluctantly, he allows his slacker friend Corey Thompson to accompany them. On the car ride, Corey asks David to pull up at a 24-hour ATM kiosk. Corey and David enter the ATM to withdraw money, and shortly after, Emily joins them. She tells David the clicker for the car lock isn't working. When the three are about to leave, they turn to see a hooded figure lurking outside who is only known as the Man. While Corey suggests they return to the car, Emily and David are reluctant, believing the figure to be a robber. A guy, Robert, comes into the parking lot walking his dog. The man walks up to Robert and violently beats him to death like it's nothing, much to their horror. They attempt to call the police, but Corey had lost his phone at the party, David's phone battery is dead, and Emily's phone is in her purse in the car. They try to set off an alarm by hitting and kicking the ATM, but nothing happens. While the three are panicking inside, the man sees them gesturing towards the car. He goes to the car, opens the door, pops the trunk, and removes a few items: a folding lawn chair, a tire iron, and a toolbox. He takes the toolbox and walks around to the back of the kiosk. He proceeds to cut off the heat and lights. David decides to reason with the man by withdrawing as much money as possible and offering their watches and valuables. He walks out and attempts to give him an envelope with $500 and their other valuables in return for their safety. While giving the money to the hooded figure, he runs back to the car. He grabs Emily's purse, pulls out her phone, and starts dialing 911 when the man punches through the passenger side window with his gloved hand. He drags David out of the car and is about to kill him when Corey screams from the kiosk. This distracts the man long enough for David to get up and run back. He drops Emily's phone that has 911 on the screen and just needs the send pressed. David leaps back inside with Emily's purse. The man stops about 10 feet from the door, then walks over and picks up the envelope and Emily's cell phone. He tosses them into David's trunk. Emily uses her lipstick to write "help" on the ATM's window. As the three begin to start freezing from the cold, a security guard comes to investigate. He parks his car a few dozen feet from the ATM and gets out. The three yell at him, but he can't hear them over the howling wind. He sees Robert's body and starts to call for help on his radio, but is beaten to death by the man with the tire iron. The three are left feeling hopeless. Emily starts becoming disoriented from the hypothermia. A few minutes later, a guy with a similar coat to the man enters the kiosk. Corey and David manage to kill him by strangling him with a pen on a wire. But to their shock and disbelief, they look outside and see the real man standing there. They find out the man they killed was named Harold, and he stopped in on his way to work. They search him for a phone, but don't find one. Corey grows angry and tired. He takes Harold's coat and decides to run out of the parking lot. Unfortunately, he ends up being tripped up by a wire. The man strung across between the car and the pole of an overhead light to create a perimeter. The man slowly stabs Corey with a screwdriver. He then walks back around the kiosk. More hours go by and the temperature continues to get lower and lower. David and Emily see that Corey is still alive. They run and grab him. Corey's leg is broken, but they all manage to return to the kiosk before the man gets to them. Desperate, David tries again to set off an alarm and breaks the ATM camera. While David and Emily attempt to stop Corey's bleeding, the man pushes David's car up to the door and blocks it from opening. The ATM kiosk begins to fill with cold water through the heating vents. Corey eventually dies of blood loss and hypothermia. David finds a lighter in one of Harold's pockets. He tosses paper into a wastebasket and starts a fire. Emily climbs on David's shoulders and manages to get the flame close enough to the fire alarm to trigger a loud alarm. Unfortunately, David slips and Emily falls, smashing her head on a shelf and dies. The security guard's car rams into David's car, which crashes through the wall. Angered, David uses Corey's bottle of tequila to create a Molotov cocktail. He throws it at a hooded man sitting in the lawn chair, only to realize that it's the dead security guard. The man had set him up and disappeared. The cops come and arrest David. They find 5 bodies, the bank envelope full of money and valuables in the car trunk, and Emily's phone with 911 on the screen. They review the ATM videotape, but there's no sound, and it looks as if David, Corey, and Emily were robbing the ATM and murdering witnesses. The man is not seen on the footage. The killer was very clever enough to not approach to within 25 feet of the ATM booth to avoid being seen on the booth's single security camera. As the police drive away with David, we see that the hooded parka figure, his face still unseen, returns to his lair.